start us off, please?
Well, what a finish, and we always talk about players making plays. We've been in some situation where we did make plays. You know, you go back to the Kentucky game, we didn't make plays going down the stretch. We didn't make free throws, but I thought this afternoon, I thought we did a good job of making consecutive stops. The jump ball that took place, and I think before that, I think Desi deflected a pass that we came up with, big plays, and then then you got the one with the jump ball, and of course, with Jalen making a play there at the end there. But now you still got almost 6 seconds on the clock. You got to be able to make a defensive stop. And I thought Jalen did a good job of making Tyree work for the basketball. And Gabe did a good job of helping and coming up with that loose ball at the end. And so a game that went back and forth. Ole Miss is a really good basketball team. We played them early in the year, and knowing that they're going to come in with those scores that they have. And Tyree was trying to take over by himself. But we had enough in us to get stops. The thing I like about it is we didn't panic. We didn't panic. We stayed the course. And when you stay the course and trust what you're doing, eventually it should come out hopefully the way that you want it to come. But I thought our guys fought and left it on the floor. Great to have the national championship team here. A lot of memories. Coach Richardson, Hall of Fame coach, here in attendance. So what better way to they saw a great game, you know, a game that went back and forth, and we had one more stop in us, and we were fortunate to win the game.
Yeah, Mike, you know, Jalen's been in a lot of those final second situations, and a lot of times it hadn't gone well, but he said he appreciated the faith you showed in him, giving him the ball again. He said you want to get the ball to Daniel, but he had to make a play. Just kind of from your standpoint, how'd that play go down and the job Jalen did?
Well, actually,
the ball up and over?
you know, Dan came open on the side, but he actually I think he got a ball screen away from them, and little be known, Isaiah was coming out to be open on the left side, and I think he stepped on the guy's foot, and a couple of guys went with him, and then the lane opened up. And to me, it was an open up, and Jalen saw the opportunity to get to the basket and made a nice floater to finish it. So, again, it's about guys making plays. You know, you got some action going this direction, but the other direction is where you want to go, and he made a play.
Yeah, tough game, Kentucky. How good is it to see him bounce back with a game like this?
It was good for our whole team. I thought our whole team had a tough game. You know, I thought we played well enough to win, and didn't make plays. Didn't make plays going down the stretch. Didn't make free throws. Today it was different. Our fans were fantastic. I mean, it was a great atmosphere when you came in here, and we had a couple of spells, you know, dry spells there where we didn't go down, we didn't score, we didn't execute, but I thought we still stayed the course in terms of what we were doing. You can just see with this team now, you're getting a little bit more balance. Our bench gave us some quality minutes. You know, Mason plays 29 minutes, 22 points. That's big for our basketball team, so because now it allows some of those guys to get some rest and come back in. And obviously Dan's going to draw a lot of attention, so the other guys got to be beneficiary of it. You look at Jalen, almost a double-double. You know, that's what he was doing early in the year, and so it's good to see him come out and have that kind of a game. We needed him to play well.
Tyree scored their last 8 points, and then to get stops on 2 consecutive possessions at the end, he doesn't even get a chance to score. He made some tough buckets. What does that say about your defense, not just to making a shot at the end, but also your defense to get stops like that?
They're taking it you know, you always tell me I take it to the next level. You got to make adjustments. You know, they're killing us doing this here. Now, how are we going to stop him, you know, as we talk about going down the stretch? And I thought we did. There were a couple of times where we had a couple of guys going at him, where he came in the lane and we got hands up and we were able to rebound the basketball. But again, our guys are making those little subtle adjustments that you got to make.
You touched on this a little bit, but just how satisfying is it of all the games to snap a skid to do it with those guys here?
It was special. It was special. You know, obviously I was a part of it, so to have them, you know, in the audience and to witness it, you know, especially, you know, when you think about the games that we've had some games that a lot of our games have been going down to the wire, and so for our guys to overcome it, some adversity, says a lot. You know, I had a couple of guys come in and some of the national championship guys, you know, I think Clint McDaniel and Elmer Martin. I always let those guys come in and just kind of share their experiences or, you know, observation. And one of the things that think Clint made the statement, that, we played here 25 years ago. Obviously, we did some great things, but now we live through you guys now. And I thought it kind of resonated with our guys. And then they also talked about, one thing about Razorbacks, man, nobody outworks us, man. They can't outwork us. And so we talk about the finish to the game. Our guys, they worked to win this game. So from that standpoint of getting the win and having them here and having guys that understand what it takes to win a national championship in the honors, I think that's special.
Mason got loose a little bit in the second half. What did you think of that? How's he able to come off the bench a little?
I thought he played well. He's still a starter. In my mind, he started. I mean, you're talking about you got to play 30 minutes. So, but I thought their defense kind of lost him at times, and that's what I talked about, the wear and tear in our bench having an effect on the game. We're working them defensively. Those guys play a lot of minutes when you talk about Tyree and Davis and Schuler, and I thought I saw a little hint of where they got tired. And with that being said, as we got the transition game, our defense was good, and we got the ball up in transition, and he was able to he had some open shots, and he knocked them down. And our guys did a good job of finding him.
Coach, I thought your guards had an obvious size advantage. It seemed like the game plan was to move it, get them a little out of position, then attack. Did you feel like you had a physical advantage backcourt to backcourt against these guys today?
I thought we could attack them, because they're paying so much attention to Dan. I thought down at their place we didn't do a good job of attacking and finishing. Today I thought we did a good job of attacking. We're finding Adriel on the baseline there finishing up, or Reggie Chaney for a dunk. So I thought we did it. It was more intentional that we were attacking with purpose to score, and then if they stop us, then somebody's open.
Mike, this has been the longest losing streak you had in 17 years. How tough was that, and just how good is it to get a win? And what do you think maybe that can do for you guys next week, moving on?
I told our guys it's March, and this is when some of our teams play some of the better basketball. So maybe it could be one of those defining moments. We'll see. It's not we're playing bad basketball. I always say it, just to me, it's the consistency for 40 minutes. If we can ever get that balance where we're playing for 40 minutes, we can ever get that balance of guys starting off going out and playing well. And we had some guys who had some injuries. Keyshawn went down, I think right there at the end. Isaiah tweaked his ankle a little bit. So we had some guys that went down, but other guys stepped up. So if we get all that, this is the time of year you want to hopefully be playing some good basketball. We shot the ball well. I thought we defended well. A lot of loose balls they got in the second half. I thought they kind of out efforts on that part of it. And we had some rebounds in our hands. And I can recall it was 62-58. We just came down and had some great momentum. And then we kind of gambled and went for a steal and gave them a wide open shot. That's the time, when the pressures creeped on to the other opponents. And we got to learn how to use that momentum, because that's within that 7-minute mark. And we talk about fatigue creeping up. Now you just stay solid on defense, make them take some shots. Now you get that lead up a little bit more. But again, I was proud of our guys. They hung in there and they found a way, and we're happy with the win, Bob.
When Clint talked to the guys, was that before the game or yesterday?
A little bit before the game. Before the game. Yeah, I let he and Clint, Elmer just come in, and I always let guys when they come back. That's any time, not necessarily just this time, but I always let them, because I'm always talking about those guys. I always say that when teams are playing Arkansas, they're playing against that tradition. That's those guys. That's the national championship team. So let me let them guys share a little bit with you in terms of what they went through and what it means to be a Razorback.
And then
Were
Dan,
there 90 more guys in the locker room at all afterwards?
Yeah, they did. They were fired up. They were excited. They were. They beat me in there. Yeah, they were. They were excited for the guys. Matter of fact, I told Clint and Elmer they're gonna have to talk to the team all the time. I think I did that with Beck too, like maybe a year or two ago. But they were excited for. I mean, they went around high five the guys, and to me it's a. As I sit there and watch it, you talk about guys that were here 25 years ago. These guys kind of are playing for them, and so now they actually get a chance to meet these guys. You think about 25 years ago, I don't think our guys were even born, but they're meeting guys that were part of a national championship here.
Also, Coach Davis said, I think the plan was for Tyree. He talked about him taking over, trying to take over the game, was to go 100 miles an hour or something. What was had he been able to get the handoff cleanly or the pass?
Well,
who was going to be on him?
Well, we put. Matter of fact, he was going to take it out and get it and run with it, and so we didn't want him to get it back. So I wanted Jalen on him, make it difficult for him. And I thought he did a good job. And Gabe kind of played with it a little bit too. Yeah, he kind of helped him and double teamed him a little bit. And so the pass was bobbled, and we were able to come up with it.
Mike, did you break out the red jacket especially for the 94 team today, or? I think it's the first time you wore it this year, right?
You can say that, Bob. Go ahead. You can write that, Bob, okay? Yeah, I did.
And then Daniel, obviously, he was having a rough day from the free throw line. When you really had to have those two late, he switched them both. What'd you think of that?
Yeah, that's just having confidence in him. I think he got to have confidence in himself. You know, I think he didn't get down. He was 1 for 6, I think. You know, but when you need him the most, he stepped up to the plate. I thought Dan played. I thought he played well. He's the anchor that we try to go through, and people are coming at him. I mean, he's taking a lot of physical contact, and I think he's holding up pretty good for the most part. Did a good job, I thought, kind of back in the back, just patrolling back there. You know, their big guys had a big games against us last time, Stevens and the big kid. But again, I was proud he made some big. Those were big free throws for us.